Denzel is back in the third and supposedly final installment in the first ever now Denzel Washington franchise. And it could be the best one yet. Let's talk about the Equalizer 3. Hey guys, Dan here. This is Dan Reviews It. Welcome to my spoiler-free review for the film Equalizer 3. This is in theaters right now, doing great numbers at the box office. And critically, it is the most well-received Equalizer film yet. So we'll see how I think of it. But we'll get into all the specifics here of this movie in just a moment. First, let me welcome you into Dan Reviews It. Thank you for finding this video. We've got a ton of great movie and TV reviews on the channel for you to check out. I try to post something new just about every day for you, at least 5 or 6 new videos a week. So lots to check out. Consider subscribing down below. Would love to have you aboard there. Or just like this video or comment. That stuff does all help the channel out. All right, so The Equalizer. Now, this is the first ever Denzel franchise. In fact, he never even did a sequel until The Equalizer 2. And he has been in, what, dozens and dozens of movies, right? So obviously something was speaking to him about this Robert McCall character. And this is loosely based on a TV show from way back when. But since the success of the movie, they've now redone the show with Queen Latifah. And I think it's coming back for a third season. I don't know. I watched a couple of episodes to review it, but it's not very good, so I didn't stick with it. But in any event, so Denzel has said this is going to be his last one. It is now a trilogy, which, to be honest, is kind of nice. We don't see trilogies anymore. When I was coming up, it was, Back to the Future was a trilogy, and, there were all these movies that were contained and not, the Avengers and big multiverses and all of this. And so if this is the third, okay, great, and final, let's do that. But in any event, whatever happens with this franchise and this character afterwards, I do believe this one actually could be the best one yet. It is the first international film for the franchise. The second one was in Boston. I'll be honest, I don't know where the first one was, maybe somewhere in that same area. But this one takes place overseas. Basically, the story is that due to an incident that injures McCall in the first scene, he finds himself in a small town in South Italy, finding some new friends there, but he discovers that the whole town really is intimidated by members of this group called the Camorra. So he takes it upon himself to equalize the matter, and and goes from there. Now, this is once again directed by Anton Fuqua. He has directed the first and the second installments. This one was written by Richard Wenk. I'll be honest, I don't know if he wrote the first couple, but this is Anton Fuqua's and Denzel Washington's franchise for sure. So I had to look back at my grades for the first couple, because I remembered really not liking the second one. I gave it, I wrote down a C-, but I did a video for it, and I think maybe I gave it a D+ in the video. But in any event, very, very not good. Big step down from the first one. The first one, I think I remembered a little more fondly, but my original grade for it was a B-, so not, that great, a little bit above average. And critics have had apparently the same reactions, because the Rotten Tomatoes scores have, the first movie about, mid-60s or something. Second movie is like a 52%, and then this new current one is 75%. And I'll be honest, I sort of agree with that assessment. This one is better than the first one, and it's way better than the second one. So I would say this is the best one of the franchise. And there's a few reasons why. Number one, so I always think about John Wick with these movies, because the first movies for each franchise were all about, fighting off the Russian mob and stuff, and they came out within a couple of months of each other. So, John Wick, original property, Equalizer, a bit of a reboot from the show. But they've always kind of been intertwined, because of, the nature of coming out right around the same time, having these big A-list actors in the lead. But The Equalizer has always had one thing going for it, I think, above John Wick, and there aren't many things. None of these movies are better than, I think, any of the John Wicks. But Denzel Washington, I think it is safe to say, is a better actor than Keanu Reeves. Now, Reeves, is great in the John Wick lane. He's great as Neo in The Matrix. He has his sort of modes, but in the quieter moments, uh, the Robert McCall character is so much more compelling, I think, than John Wick because of Washington's performance. And so here we have, a few scenes, say at a cafe where he is, sort of either exposition dumping or just kind of, slyly leading, the DEA or whatever along with their investigation. He calls it a tip, and playing the lead sort of investigator here is his old buddy Dakota Fanning, who played in Man on Fire with him 20 almost years ago. So it's great to see her all grown up. I don't think I've seen her in a movie in a few years. So when she first came on the screen, I thought it was Amanda Seyfried. They've both got those big doe eyes. But then I remembered, oh yeah, they said Dakota Fanning was returning kind of to Denzel's purview there. So loved their interactions together. She is, right on top of her game here in this, and they have just lovely interactions with each other. But I will say that the thing that I think probably takes this above even the first movie is the setting. This movie really has a gorgeous backdrop of Italy. And it's funny, I just recently reviewed My Big Fat Greek Wedding 2 to a bit of a pan. And one of my big complaints in that movie was, it should be this love letter and travelogue to Greece, and they sort of gloss over a lot of those moments. And this is not that, it's not necessarily a travelogue type movie, but, Fuqua has such a beautiful way of showing us the people of, these small towns in Italy and how they interact with each other and how they are family and all of that. And I think that's lovingly seen here in this movie. And I think that does put it a step above. Now, in terms of the violence, it was a bit too gory for me. I mean, in the first scene alone, McCall pops a gun in somebody's eye and shoots somebody else through the guy's eye hole. It was like, all right, like this is a little far. People that love the gory violence of like the Taken movies and stuff, I think will feel right at home here. And look, John Wick has a lot of these moments too. Both of these franchises definitely are like, sometimes look away moments for me. But I will give some points to creativity for sure. The rest of the movie, however, the rest of the plot, it sort of moves along at a very, very sort of generic pace and some plot lines I think we've seen before. But this definitely does end being the best of the franchise. If this is indeed the end, and if this is going to be a trilogy, I think it's great to go out on a high note. And I do leave the Equalizer 3 with the best grade I've given for the franchise, which is a B. I could even maybe be talked up to a B plus, but might be a little long or whatever. Couple complaints, but yeah, I mean Denzel Washington really hits this film home, and so does Anton Fuqua. So check it out at the local theater, and thanks for watching. We'll see you next time on Dan Reviews It. Bye.